A few hours ago, we are given to understand the DGCA, in fact, has now told all the airlines that the moment you report GPS spoofing, you have to do it within the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, so we wanted to bring the details of the GPS spoofing. And I think this tells us what really happened at the Delhi airport. Just to tell our viewers a little bit about what we've understood from the details that Shravan has been able to gather through our reporters, Soumya, Harsha, everyone on the ground. Harsha, in fact, has been tracking the aviation story, and she spoke about how it could be a bigger threat than what we initially thought. Delhi's airspace faced a massive GNSS or GPS disruption on the 5th of November. That's roughly about 7 to 8 days ago. Over 800 flights were delayed, and we all reported it. Complete chaos at the airports, especially because of Delhi being impacted. Flights were either delayed, diverted at Delhi's IGI airport during this disruption. And let's also tell you what we know so far about GPS spoofing. Pilots reported loss of navigation and position errors, which effectively means in layman's language, Shravan, that when they were landing during an approach, essentially they went blind. Is that the right way to put it? When you're landing, you go blind.
So you're basically interfering with the internal system of an aircraft. So there are certain calculations based on which the aircraft basically lands. And if you try to mess with that, it could actually have a disastrous, ending, if I may say so, because that is exactly what most of the airlines have actually reported. And now the DGC has gotten into the picture.
Okay, so should we go across to Harsha? Harsha joining us with the details. Let's go across to her. Harsha, how sure are we that this was a GPS spoofing attempt? If it was a GPS spoofing attempt, do we know where it was done from? Because if the range of such an exercise is maximum 100, 120, 150 kilometers, where was it being done from?
So, Niranjan, Shravan, this is not something which is very common. We can't ignore it because it's a GPS spoofing. It doesn't happen. It's not like a technical issue in an aircraft which can be fixed, maintained or repaired. It is a proper system which is fitted in the aircraft, in the cockpit of the aircraft. And GPS spoofing happens, Niranjan, Shravan, 6 nautical miles above the runway. When the aircraft is about to land, it's 6 nautical miles away from the runway. At that particular timing, the GPS spoofing is happening, and almost for 15 to 20 days, multiple airlines, multiple carriers complained to the DGCA, which was happening at Delhi airport. First time GPS spoofing happened at Delhi airport, and the DGCA took the notice of it after regular complaints. There was one particular aircraft, which was supposed to land in Delhi, but it got diverted to Amritsar because of the GPS spoofing. The GPS stopped working. The navigation switch went to left, then to right, and the pilot couldn't understand exactly where the plane has to land. And that was the big goof up which happened inside the aircraft. That is how GPS spoofing happens. The pilot will not know the navigation. The pilot will have no idea about the air traffic. The pilot will have no idea which plane is coming on the left direction, which is on the right direction. The pilot will have no controls of the GPS navigation. That is the kind of loss of signal which is happening 16 nautical miles mid-air. This is what we have got to know from the regulatory body, from the BTAC and from the dial as well. And today we have got to know that from past 2 days, there was something fishy which was happening in the Mumbai airspace. The airspace, the international it was monitored that the international flights which are going through Arabian Sea, this particular route P594 and L639, these are the international routes around Pakistan coastal area and the Arabian Sea. The GPS is monitored, and it's seen that it is fixated from that particular area. The GPS spoofing is happening, and therefore the fresh notam was issued that no international flight will use this particular route. So now P574 and L639 route will not be used by the international flight. This was a particular notam which was issued to all the airlines carrier, because now the military is of the opinion that something is happening. There's something fishy which is happening. So Pakistan is not only affecting us on the border, but also in the air as well. And therefore, proper monitoring is being done by DGCA in the air. If we talk about the New Delhi route, if we talk about the Mumbai route, and Mumbai airspace is being monitored from last 2 days, and some serious activity has been noticed. Multiple international aircraft have complained about the GPS spoofing. We have got that number is around 10 to 15 international flight, which have clearly stated that the GPS signal stopped working. There was a loss of GPS signal, and suddenly we couldn't navigate that where exactly to land. There was a flight which was supposed to land at Mumbai airport, but it didn't land at Mumbai airport. It rather got diverted because of the GPS spoofing. So this is the we can say the gravity of spoofing which is happening, and it's very concerning. It's not the technical issue, it's the system which is fixed inside the aircraft. It's the US inbuilt system in most of the Boeing and most of the Airbus as well. And now the pilot in command and most of the pilots are continuously demanding from the government as well that there should be some Indian made system in the aircraft, in the air carriers, because it's now hard to believe that how the systems are being hacked. If it is a hacking, it's a different kind of warfare, it's a different kind of attack, it is directly linked to cyber or not, this still is unknown, because investigation agencies now are working with MOCA, with the AIB, and with the regulatory body to exactly point out how this GPS spoofing is happening. But it's a matter of concern. It's very troubling for the international flight who have misrouted and not been routed to the particular path
Harsha.
where they were supposed to land. Back to you.
Harsha, be with me. Captain Randhawa is also joining us on the broadcast. In fact, I remember the day we broke the story, he was live with us, and this evening when we broke the details of the GPS spoofing, he spoke about it briefly. But it's now confirmed, Captain Randhawa, and we now know that there is a character to all of it, a face to all of it, and that face is Pakistan that is attempting to do this. War without weapons.
Absolutely, what you rightly said, that GPS spoofing, when we call it, is the GPS jamming which prevents the receivers from locking onto the satellite signals. Spoofing basically involves broadcasting counterfeit satellite signals to deceive GPS receivers, causing them to compute incorrect position, navigation, and timing data. Spoofing, actually, if you have seen in the European routes, it starts on some parts of West Asia, and then when we go into the Iranian airspace, into Turkish airspace, and parts Iraq and all that that area, Turkey, that part, and now it has started occurring close to the Indian borders or in Indian context. So this is basically what has happened a few days back when we were contemplating that what has happened in Delhi. That was due to automatic, this system which is there in the ATC, which sends the signals to the automatic tracking system. That was one area where AI had initially said that has caused disruption of flights because they had resorted to manual flight planning by the ATC controllers. But, however, Mr. Dole has now said that there is spoofing of GPS, which is taking place in the Indian airspace. Now, this is a very serious thing. Now, GPS signals, when they give you a wrong position, like I'll tell you, a runway which looks at a particular point, it may be shifted about a couple of miles away from where it's supposed to be. Now, in case of, poor visibility and all, where the pilot is not supposed to be, and it will execute an approach. So it could be dangerous. Now, this spoofing, someone is doing, could be doing through the cyber attacks. This is a silent type of war, which and the world needs to take a big cognizance of this GPS spoofing which is taking place, because it's becoming a serious threat day by day.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much, Captain Randhawa, for putting this into perspective. A story that we'll be tracking very closely, because there is a lot more than what meets the eye right now. Who exactly is behind it? And the fact of the matter is that this is not just limited to Delhi airport. There's more coming in. We'll get you more details.